Hello and welcome. On this video, we are going to be continuing our Gatsby Starter blog theme. And on this particular video, we are going to be updating the gatsby-node.js file. So on our previous video, we updated the blog, and our blog page currently looks like this, right? So you have your posts, but when you go into the post, there's no /blog/name of your post. And what I want to do is I want to add that blog in there, so the user knows if they're in the blog, or if they're looking at my work on my my work slash or my website slash or what have you, right? So we need to, first of all, we need to open our gatsby-node.js file. And that isn't a component, that's a built-in within Gatsby. So if you open up, I believe it's in your source file, and it's near your Gatsby node. It's towards the bottom. So you open that up, and you'll see right now, looking through this, it looks confusing. But this is how the pages are rendered. So it takes all the markdown files and it makes them into individual pages. And that is the heart of like Gatsby Node. It does this automation so you don't have to do it on each component or each page, if that makes sense. So you click on this. This is made. This page was made using the Gatsby Node.js file. And it's using the blog post. So we see if we can try to walk through this here. So it's using GraphQL to, so this is using the .create pages. So we'll just mark that down. I'll add notes below. So we're using create pages. We're using OnCreateNode. And I believe one more, could be wrong. On create node field, which is in here. Create file path. So all of these are important aspects to creating individual page. So the first thing is that we want to do is we don't want to get just all the markdown files. We want to get the blog markdown files. We want to get the website's markdown files. So in order to do that, something similar that we did on our homepage. See how we have websites here as the variable, and then we're filtering out the front matter, the category website. We're going to do basically the same thing, except for blog and for website. And whatever files, other files you have. There could be a code one, there could be a design one. But once you have the understanding, you can apply it, you can reapply it. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do blog. And here, I'll just do this again. I'll just type it out. So we did filter. And we're going to do front matter. We're going to get category, EQ, and the name, blog. Save that. And there we have it. So now I can use blog instead of, like, I can use blog as a reference. Instead of here saying all markdown remark.edges, I could say data.blog.edges. It would take this and then go to edges. Now I want to make a website one. So I'm literally just copying and pasting and doing, instead of blog, I'll do website. Save that. And that is done. That is our GraphQL. What do I want? There's actually one thing I want to do before we move on. So that having that blog in there, I want to use a different, I want to make that a variable. Basically, so when you or someone else downloads this theme that I'll have at the end of this, eventually, whenever this is finished, instead of going in and changing those statically, I'm going to make it a variable so it can be more dynamic. So I'm going to make a variable up here. I'm going to call it const blog, right? And do that. Const website equals website. If I can spell it correctly. And now what I want to do is I'm going to take this, oops, blog. And now this is actually a variable using the curly braces and the $sign. This is a reference to that constant up there. And I'll do the same thing down below. And you still need these double quotes. You can't, I've tried it, you do need those in there. And I can do the same for website. I'll do that. D website. I could spell. And now you can change this up here and it'll reference it down below. So that is the GraphQL portion. Now moving down, we have a create blog post pages. And you can see the const posts, it's getting all of the markdown remark.edges. We don't have that currently. We have two references of a blog and a website. And so this will have to change because this will no longer work. So in order to do that, we're just going to copy, right? Twice. We'll do it once. So this will be blog posts. And instead of that, we are going to get websites.edges. And this will be website posts. Oh, whoops. Simple mistake. Blog. But to make it easier, instead of doing this, we want to reference those variables that we made up above. So in order to do that, let's remove that. And this needs to be, we're referencing an object. So I'm actually going to use brackets because within that bracket, I'm going to use the $sign and reference a variable. I can't, for some reason, it wouldn't let me do that with a period. So since, I'll show you. So if I do period dot and then insert the variable, it doesn't work. So I just used square brackets and it works fine. So just copy and paste, same thing down below. Move that and make this website. And remember, that's a reference right up here. Okay, so post no longer exists. So now it's going to be blog posts. Blog posts, save. And so blog posts, each one of these. Now you can keep it at post or you can change them individually. I think I'm just going to leave it as post. You can make a blog post, but blog posts with an S needs to be changed wherever there's a posts reference. So those three Copy and paste. A lot of copying and pasting going on here, but trust me, it'll work. Okay. Okay, path. Path should be working. Okay. Create page. So we're going to create the page. This is a, I believe, a plugin for Gatsby, and you can look at the documentation on this. But these are built-in variables or parameters, if you will. So create page. You can do a path, component, context, and yeah, those I believe are fine. Those should all be good. We'll see what happens. But we're also only getting the blog posts. So what we also want to do is get the website posts. So what I'm going to do, which there may be a better way, but just for the sake of speed, I'm going to, I'm going to make this website posts. And now it references all of the website posts. Okay, and then that should be good. So that is the creating the blog post pages. If we move down, we have OnCreateNode. This takes parameters. This is also a plugin that comes within Gatsby. You can check out the docs and read it if you want. The create node field and the create file path. That is actually creating. It might be down the URL. So if you'll see that the /blog, and now if you click on this, the blog is removed, and now we're just at like hello world. And there's also a backslash at the end. But I don't want that backslash, and I want to add in blog so the user will know that they're still on the blog. So this is somewhat tricky. So if node internal markdown remark, it's that, and front matter dot category. So we're referencing the GraphQL that we did up above. That equals blog. See node front matter. Okay. It's referencing that. If it is has a category of blog, then we want to create a file path, and we want to create the node field. The name slug, that's fine. Or just the slug, or the URL will be the name of the file of the folder, or the name of the folder. That's what that means. I'm just going to leave that. I like that. Now the value I want to change. I want to add, like I said, I want to add that slash in there. So I want to add /blog. And then I want it to be the name of the file, or the file path. Oh, okay. So actually, this is a reference to value up here. So I actually don't want that. Oops. So what value was down here? This is the same. They made it easier. So they had this. Yeah, they just replaced this with a variable to make it, I guess, cleaner. But what I want to do is I want to add value, and then I want /blog, then file path, I believe. Create file path. That is should be a variable. Should be. I have to close this. Close that out. So yeah, so the value is /blog, create file path, and it'll be the node get node. Not done yet though. We want to add in some more parameters. The create file path is also, I read this in the documentation. So I do base path. I want to use blog. This is the base path. And then the trailing slash is what it's called. And the default is true, so I just put false. I'm going to restart the server. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. When you're messing or when you're dealing with gatsby-node.js file, since those are creating basically your URLs on render or on npm start or Gatsby develop or Gatsby building, you have to restart your server in order for Gatsby Node to rebuild everything. So I'm going to restart the server now. And now you see /blog /new beginnings and no ending backslash or like no ending slash. Work doesn't work yet because we haven't added that to our Gatsby node. So, okay. But blog is working. So that's good. Positivity. Look on the bright side. So now let's build the website portion of that. Let's if. So this is an if statement. So I'm going to continue using the if statement. So if this, obviously it'll do that. So I'm going to do an else if. Instead of blog, I'm going to do website. And I'll have to restart the server, but let me see if this works. And then I also want it like an else if, like if nothing, just in case I forget. So so it's like an else if. I'm just going to use the original node or the original create node field. So I added that, and now I'm going to restart the server again. But if we go back to work, click on it, you'll see it's website. It works. Perfect. Blog posts, blog works, and more importantly, this should also work. So if you go into blog, click on a post, and now when you filter through, you should only see your blog posts and not all of your markdown files. That is what we really wanted. Same goes for websites. Website 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Okay. Awesome. So now let's fix that bug really quick. But that's everything. So if you want to stop watching, that is the video. And now we have our Gatsby node page set up and good to go. Thanks for watching. But if you want to continue watching, let's figure out this bug here that I saw on the build. So we have content, websites, website 4 index.md. So it looks like one of the blog posts. Is it website? Yeah, website 4. What's going on? Oh, gotta end the quotes. Bug fixed. Okay. that makes sense as to why I wasn't seeing the work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now they're all in there. All right, now this video is officially done. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully this helps. We're getting very close to the end, and like I said, I will. Oh, one more thing, last thing. Before we go, I want to add variables in the below the create node. So similar to what we had done earlier, I'm doing a const blog, and it's going to equal blog. And I'm const website. Now, if you go down in all references to blog, see, these are going to be slightly different, though. I believe, yeah, they will. So this will be blog, the website. Blog. Okay, so there's only 2 more. I have a lot of references. So blog, do the $, curly braces, blog. I can use that because of the backtick right here. So this is in between 2 double quotes, which I don't think we need. It's not like GraphQL where I need that. So I'll add in to backticks again, $, curly braces, blog. But I still want that slash, because that's the base. Okay, so that should work. And I'm going to do the same thing up here for website. Whoops. Website. Backticks. There we go. I think. No, this needs to go in there. So now if you wanted to change it, you can just change it up here. So now we're done. But what I was saying is we're getting very close to the end. It's coming along nicely. We have the nav over here, and about page is done. The work page is done. It just needs some styling, and the blog is done. Also needs some styling, but the layout is done for my liking. Very simple, basic. You can see blog posts. We also have to add in the blog post content, which you'll have to add in your own, but I will add that in as part of the finish. And yeah, moving forward, we will, I mean, I'm in charge here, I'm doing this. I will edit the blog post layouts, and I'll show you where it is, and if you want to make a website layout versus a blog post layout, and I can show you how that's done. But yes, we're getting very close, and like I said earlier, you can just download, you'll be able to download this, either free or not free, I don't know yet, but it'll be on my GitHub, so that'll always be there. That'll be free for you developers. So thanks for watching, and until next time.